Welcome back to NTV News First Edition. Well, summertime in this province not only means that the weather is heating up, but you can also expect to see road construction ramping up this time of year. But of course, it's not always top of mind when we're leaving the house. So joining us to chat a little bit about road rage and how to handle it is Dr. Janine Hubbard. Dr. Hubbard, thanks so much for joining us.
Oh, thank you so much.
Now, to start off, I guess, can you just tell us a little bit about what exactly happens to us when we're stuck in traffic?
Well, it's amazing, and I'm as guilty as anyone of this. You're calm, you're cool, you're collected. You're maybe not someone who normally gets angry, and then all of a sudden it feels like you're not moving. They're stuck. You can't see what's holding up traffic. You just know you're going to be late. And what you're suddenly seeing is people maybe cutting you off or, making U-turns or doing things where you're going, what are you doing, you dummy? And sometimes we say things in our cars or unfortunately, hopefully it's just kind of quiet things we say in our cars because we know that things like road rage, that frustration, especially if you've been waiting for ages and ages and ages and somebody cuts you off, it can actually lead to physical aggression and violence. We've seen things like, fist fights in some places in the country. We've seen things like weapons being pulled. So we know that on one hand, it's a minor inconvenience and you kind of are a little grouchy and you're late for work, but we want to make sure that it doesn't escalate beyond that.
Like you said, I think we've all been guilty of it at one time or another, especially saying maybe something quiet to yourself in the car. But we also know that traffic delays aren't our fault. So why does it make us so angry?
Well, it's interesting. And I know I have to have that conversation with myself going, there's nothing you can do at this point. It is completely outside of your control. Let it go. But what we tend to do is we're really good for ourselves at saying, okay, well, I couldn't have done anything about it. But we have the combination of the anonymity of being inside our vehicle, and we have this tendency to make assumptions about other people. So we assume that people are doing things deliberately or intentionally, as opposed to maybe they just didn't see the sign or they didn't see me, or maybe they're a tourist or they're here from out of town and they're lost and a little confused. But we do this weird attribution where what we apply to ourselves, we don't apply to others. And that's where it's important to be kind and generous and maybe give people the benefit of the doubt and cut them some slack.
And, although you think this time of year, I guess that people will be on vacation or otherwise, but there seems to be, like that construction, and there is a lot of traffic on the roads, especially, even today. There was a lot of cars down in downtown St. John's with the cruise ship and other events happening. So if that does happen and we kind of do feel that little bit of road rage, what can we do to kind of curb that feeling?
I think, first of all, be very mindful of what you're saying, especially if there are little ears in your car. At a certain point, take a deep breath, go, you know what? If I'm late, I'm late. There are very few things in life that, the difference of 10 or 15 minutes is going to really make that much of a difference. Think about how forgiving you are if someone comes and says, oh my goodness, I'm sorry, I was caught in traffic. You don't think twice about it. Maybe turn on some music or start to have a conversation. But the biggest thing is take a big breath and say, you know what? There are so many more things that I could be worried about. I'm grateful and mindful to the construction crews. I'm grateful that it wasn't me who was in an accident. How lovely is it that, hey, I get to spend a few more minutes outside enjoying some sunshine. Just trying to shift that perspective. And if you're late, it's okay.
Exactly. It's not life or death. It's just stuck in traffic. And like you said, maybe turn on a nice song or something to help boost your mood in times like that. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Hubbard, again, for this great advice another Thursday.
Thanks so much.